Okay, here we go. Video number 2. I hope the first one was helpful. The next page in your assignment was task number 1, journal entry. And it had a particular situation, and it just asked you some basic information. So let me zoom in a little bit and we'll read this together real quick. It says, for the situation, write a journal entry on the next page, actually below, explaining how the rate of change can be identified in the written scenario, on the graph and in the table. Make sure to fully explain using mathematical language. Okay, so it says Isabella's electric company charges 15 cents per kilowatt hour plus a basic connection charge of $20 per month. So we're going to write just a few sentences about the written scenario first. So if we look at this, we should be able to determine that when it says 15 cents per kilowatt hour, 15 cents becomes my rate of change, okay? Every kilowatt hour is another 15-cent charge, okay? So that becomes my slope, okay? Does that make sense? That becomes my slope, my rate of change. So something along the lines of this. Now you're going to be writing down here. I'm going to write over here on the sideboard, okay? So in the written scenario, the charge per kilowatt hour, you can just do the abbreviation, would represent the rate of, sorry about the camera, change or slope. The monthly charge would be your constant or your y-intercept. You guys remember that word, y-intercept? Okay, so here again it says, in the written scenario, the charge per kilowatt hour would represent the rate of change or slope. The monthly charge would be your constant or your y-intercept. I'll let that hover for a second there. Okay, so basically your y-intercept is where you're starting from. Your bill is going to charge you $20 no matter how much kilowatt hours you use. It's automatically going to be $20. So that's y-intercept. That's where I'm starting. Okay, now I'm going to save you a little bit of time. Let's just look for this information in our other forms. We don't have to write anything else. Okay, hallelujah, right? Thank you, Miss Miller. All right, so we're going to look at the graph next. Okay, can everybody see the graph? I know you can see it on yours. If you notice this, where's it starting? It's starting here at $20. That's my y-axis, right? So that's my y-intercept. That's where I'm starting, okay? So it's hard to show 15 cents per kilowatt hour on this graph when you're starting at $20. So they went to 100 kilowatt hours, right? So at 100 kilowatt hours, that would be $15 more, right? Does that make sense? $15 more. And if you notice, it's crossing here at 35 because 20 plus 15 would give me 35. And then they put a few more points up through here and then drew their line, okay? So you could see based off of how many kilowatt hours you use, how much your bill would be as you move on up through there, okay? From starting all the way up, okay? All right, now let's look at our table of values. Table of values, here we go. So see here, it's mimicking what we just saw in the graph. At 0 kilowatt hours, I'm still paying that $20. So that represents my y-intercept, right? At 100 kilowatt hours, we just talked about it being $35. We saw that in the graph over here, right? And then at 200, that would be another 15, which would make it 50, right? And then they went to 500, which is 95, and 1,000 is 170, okay? Now, I want to write real quick what that equation would look like, because we see the information up here, we see the table of values, and we see the graph. So the only thing else I want you to write is this equation. I would say y equals, and remember, what goes with x is my slope, and my slope is 15 cents. So I'd say 0.15x, right? Plus my y-intercept of $20. So that's where I'm starting, okay? So does that make sense? My equation should be y equals 0.15x plus 20. I hope that was helpful on that one. I will post another one for the next page later today or tomorrow. Thank you very much.